This video today is going to cover a lot of material. I've got 8 different topics I want to cover. Be sure to click to follow and like this video. I'd like to share as much as possible. The New Mex Easter pepper has started to put on some peppers under 24 watts, 3 plants. And when I picked these, the first ones I picked off were totally white and they were very mild, but the other ones that I started to pick had the purplish color. They definitely have a little bit more heat to them. So that's one thing that I wanted to mention. And another is growing the cucumbers in a Black Magic recirculating grow pail, around 6 gallons, 6.5, around there. I just wanted to answer a question for several people who've asked, how should I add the nutrients? Well, a quick way to do that is to keep a bucket that you know how much water it holds, either 3.5 or 5 gallons, and keep the unit topped off with fresh water. After you set this up initially with all the water and you put the nutrients in, as soon as you add the complete amount of nutrient that this holds, then it's time to pump it out and put fresh water in and put new nutrients in. So when the plant's small, you don't have to add nutrient as often, but when it's larger, you may find yourself adding water a little bit more frequently. The cauliflower plant that I'm growing behind me here in one of the 40 watt AeroGarden gardens is right around 95 days old. It's supposed to be something that you can place out about 6 to 12 weeks. So I'm going to let it grow a little bit more because after 95 days, I still have not gotten a flower head off this cauliflower. The smaller 10 watt sprouts that are on the left that you see here, I pulled out 9 of the Vivian Lettuce starts put into the Bounty unit. Now the other things that I have over here, I've got a couple other cauliflower plants. I've got an empty Black Magic grow pail, and so I'm wondering if I could stick those into a little bit larger container with a little bit stronger light and maybe get a better result off of those. And so that's something I'll be testing here soon. The Genovese basil, which is in the very end unit, I would say that unless you really enjoy basil, you may want to get a more compact, smaller variety of it, because the Genovese basil is a monster of an herb. And I could literally go home over a weekend. It will quickly triple in size and grow into the lights. It's something that you'll have to continually cut, put it into bags, make pesto, put it into the freezer. It is a large herb. Well, I might be switching that off with one that is more on par with my actual consumption of basil. I received a gift of an AeroGarden that is called the Elite model, and it's 50 watts. And I'm trying out the Vivian Lettuce in it. And so I'm going to find out whether or not the 50 watts versus 40, 30, or 24, or whatever watts is actually going to benefit me. If that's the case, I will be able to recommend getting the best value out of what you spend on a garden. And these crazy looking plants that I have behind me right now are Vivian Lettuce remains, and they've been growing for 65 days. Normally it's 70 days until harvest. In hydroponics, you're going to get quicker growth. 3 gallons of lettuce that I've taken home, and they are very delicious. Now, I've clipped off all these today, and I've left the tips, and these tips do have some delicious looking little green leaves. Raised the light up a little bit, and so I'm going to figure out whether or not I can get these to kick out another quick harvest before I pull them completely out of this garden unit and clean it up. When you are starting out in hydroponics, you should really learn the basics. Now, once you've learned that, you can start to bend the rules a little bit. Typically with clones, what you want to do is get an active terminal cut 45 degrees off the main plant. Now, you don't want to normally pick something that has flowers or fruits on it or excess leaves. Now, with these 3 clones that I'm starting under this 10 watt AeroGarden Sprout unit, what I did was I threw away the rules and I picked out the clones that were already flowering. These came off a crack key 14 gallon grow, And I thought, why not? I thought the plant was practically dead, and I ended up seeing that the plant put up about 3 of these little growth points that had blossoms on them. And I thought, well, how about that? You know, if the plant's going to put that much effort into continuing to grow, why not? So I clipped them off and I stuck them in here. The blossoms have gone off and dried up, which is typical right before fruit set. This one has got 2 tomatoes on it. This one has got 3 tomatoes on it. This one has dried up blossoms. There's actually about 8 blossoms, so that will probably set fruit also. And under this weak 10-watt LED light, which is perfect for cloning, I'm going to find out whether or not I can get these to grow and to produce right off the bat and for a continued period of time. These red heirloom tomatoes, which are microdwarfs from AeroGarden, I tried a new type of pruning, and so when they got to a lush size and were overgrowing the top of this particular AeroGarden, which is 40 watts. What I did was used a pruning method, and so I clipped off the plant branches that were not blooming, and I left only the branches that seemed to have blossoms on those. These were kind of very sparse looking, and so I was wondering if I did the right thing, but they have quickly canopied over, and I have not only enjoyed a fresh red tomato already, I got a couple more to pick right now, but there are literally green tomatoes just clustered and loaded all over the plant. And so I think I might do this in the future also, because not only am I getting more tomatoes, but I'm also not filling up the water as much, because nobody wants to spend their time carrying water back and forth as much as they like to see their plants grow.